You are now joining the meeting.
A lot later. February 10th. What day is that?
Hello, everyone. This is Derek. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we're ready to rock. I'll turn it over to Coach. We have not practiced yet for today, so I'm just going to do this call. We'll practice and then head to Madison. I'll start with Coach's opening comments.
Hey, everybody. I don't know if we've had that chapter in the book yet in Lincoln. I guess we can continue to add to the book. I'm about ready to put a conclusion to it that of all the crazy stuff, but we did some really good things. I was really pleased on the defensive end. Versus our half-court defense, they scored 16 baskets throughout the game. I thought we were really focused in on the defensive or on the glass, excuse me. Anytime you out-rebound an opponent, like we did in that game, it kept us in the ball game. That's something that the ball didn't go in at a real high clip, but yet you find a way to stay in the ball game, have a chance to win it, and the offensive rebounding and our dominance on the glass was a big part of that. We've got to figure out how to continue to work to make layups. We missed 13, and then the game was decided literally by our live ball turnovers. They had 6 breakaway dunks. And, those are the things that get frustrating. You can't commit those turnovers, and we've got to continue to grow and learn in that area. But some real positives out of it, and I thought another great night from Trent Frazier. I was ecstatic to see Michael get going and really hit a real meaningful shot. I hope that continues to give him some confidence. More pleased than him making the shot, I was pleased to see him get back on the glass and 5 offensive rebounds. We know he's capable, and as long as he keeps his focus there, that I think we'll continue to see that ball go in. But another chapter in the book, and those are tough to swallow. And I thought I've watched it 100 times. I think we played it right. They spent 6 seconds in the backcourt. They didn't run anything. They had 2 guys standing on top of each other, and kid kind of double pumps, and Trent's right there, and that's the crazy thing about basketball sometimes is some things just don't make sense. But off to Wisconsin, and a place that very difficult to play and face a great player, and we'll have our hands full another night on the road in the Big Ten.
Coach Doug Bouchon from Rivals.com. Can you talk about the resiliency of this team? So many close losses, heartbreaking losses. What's kind of your message to them to try to keep them focused?
Just that. 3 overtimes, a buzzer beater, a 2-possession game with 4 to go, and all the momentum at Minnesota, in a game that we fought back, we had control of, and then we imploded the last 3 minutes and 52 seconds with our own mistakes. We didn't make them earn it. We imploded. And you can look at this, and you're not that far away from 3rd, and yet we're over. And I love the resiliency of this team in terms of we show up every day and with the mindset of getting better. Guys are on our days off or in or around. We've got to learn to. They're working. We've got to learn to become more cohesive and together as a team, and that's my It's been my big message for a month. It's our culture. It's not just wanting to win. It's expecting to win, and it's helping a teammate. And we're not doing that well enough yet. And those are the things we got to continue to build on. Those are locker room things. And it's a credit to them. They're upbeat, and I think we can get on a run at any time. And I thought we had a great chance after Michael hit the shot, and yet it wasn't enough. But you know what? We were right back at it, and they've got one stubborn coach. I know that, and I don't know anything but grinding and working and pushing forward, and that's all I want my team to be about.
Coach, what are you seeing from Mark Smith in practice? He's having kind of a freshman year, some freshman mistakes, ups and downs. What's his role on the team right now, and what are you seeing from him on the practice court? Well,
the biggest thing is we're getting back healthy. That flu just wiped him out. I mean, Mark probably played his best floor game in some time in Lincoln. He didn't shoot it, he didn't score, but he made the right decisions. He made the right passes. He was much better defensively, and that's been probably one of the biggest areas of his improvement, and it needed to be, was on the defensive end. And we're asking Mark to play something that he hasn't done a lot, and playing man to man, and yet his decision making the other night was terrific on the offensive end, and he made the right passes. And he's always going to be a guy. I think the one thing that hurt him is being sick, is Mark's a guy that spends a lot of time in the gym shooting shots, and he needs those reps. And when you're not in there, you don't have that touch. And Mark missed that, and he's been back in, and he's a very good shooter, but he's a guy that's a high rep guy. He's got to get a lot of reps. So I'm excited about him, and I continue to know that he's improving every day. He's in great spirits. He's got a great attitude, and he's a guy that I don't worry about, because I know that everything that's so positive for him is still in front of him.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Coach. I guess
Richie.
Go ahead.
What did you maybe see from Michael Finke in the second half against Nebraska, where it looked like things kind of started to click again for him? And was there any differences maybe from the first half to the second?
No, I don't know. I think it was a whole game, Scott. I think the one thing that I told Mike has a tendency to worry about whether his ball goes in or not, and that's something that, hey, take the focus off that. Do all the other things. Go see how many rebounds you can grab. Go see how many. Worry about the defensive end. See how many charges you can take. See how many shots you can block. And I think when you do that, sometimes it just frees you up mentally, and the ball has a chance to go in. And he got his looks, and he didn't hesitate, and that it's amazing. He's a really good shooter, and sometimes you've got to take your emphasis off what you do best and do the other things, and you can see some confidence gaining in Mike throughout the game. And I've never told him not to shoot. I ran plays for him to shoot it, and when he gets a look, every time he gets a look, I think it's going in, no matter what his percentages say. So I think it was an overall different approach for him for the entire game.
Coach, Trent Frazier, a kid who seems to really want the ball in his hands, crucial moments of the game. Is this what you expected out of him as a freshman? Did you see this coming?
Swagger. I've said it 100 times about Trent. He has swagger. And when you have swagger, you don't fear. He's got tremendous confidence. He gets so dialed into the game. It's all he knows is the moment, and he doesn't ever fear that moment. And you know what? If he misses one, he wants the ball again. and he's not consumed by failure. And you know, that's unique. That's a unique quality. And I love it. I mean, I absolutely get giddy when I talk about that. And I've said it from day one. I knew he would have big games this year for us because he's got that. He's got a knack to put the ball in the basket, and he continues to grow. I mean, 2.5 assists to 1 the other night, and he's finding guys, and he's making guys better, and he's added a completely different dimension to our ball screen package. He and Greg, and he's not afraid. And as he continues to grow through experience and see what teams throw at him, he hasn't even touched it yet. And but he's got an innate ability and tremendous confidence in his game, and he's got no fear, and I love that.
Brad, Mark Tupper, what's Tijon's status Friday?
Back
Back with the team?
Yep.
And available?
If needed.
Well, Brad, I guess
Coach,
what challenge, is Wisconsin gonna pose?
Well, one, they don't turn the ball over. They're a team that's, top, 30, 35 in the country in turnovers, and they have a tremendous identity about them. They know who they are. They know what they're going to do. They're going to try to run their stuff. They know exactly who's going to touch the ball. They've been dinged up with injuries, and that's magnified the load on Hap. But he has showed his overall skill set. He's bringing the ball up the court. He's initiating. They're playing into a post with him. He's going to touch the ball on just about every trip. And you've got to guard that. You've got to protect that because he's really good. He assists on so many plays. I think he had 7 the other night. So he does what a great player does, and that's make his teammates better. They're a team that is very capable from 3 of hurting you, they're not maybe as deep and maybe as athletic as they've been, but they're very well schooled in who they are and what they are.
Coach, this is Derek Piper. You ran as much zone half-court defense as maybe you'd have all season. What did you like about that look? Is that something you look to use going forward?
Yeah, it was something we felt could be really effective against Nebraska. I thought it was something that we had maybe gave us a different look in that game. We've been a team that hasn't sustained maybe as much as I would like to, or not even close to as much as I'd like to. We've been great defensively at times, but trying to find that other defense or something that gives us some aggressiveness, yet maybe lengthens possessions a little bit, maybe keeps us out of foul trouble, allows me to play LaRon a little bit, or whoever that's in foul trouble. And Matt said there are a lot of reasons why it, but a lot of that was based on our opponent that game and what we felt would be effective, and it worked. I mean, they scored 15, 16 baskets against us, and in the half court when it was 5-on-5. And like I said, it kept us in the ball game along with our rebounding, and I felt really good about it coming out of it.
Hey, Brad, just thinking back to this summer when some of the players were talking about learning the system, and said that having Tyler really kind of helped because he had been in it for a couple of years and he could help them with it. Has that continued as the season has progressed, and how much maybe does it help to have your son that's been through the system, and maybe he says the same things you do sometimes on the court, but they can hear it from a teammate as well.
Yeah, I think we just had an incident in practice 2 days ago where Trent, we were working on our spread offensively, and Trent made the comment. He said, man, he goes, it flows so much better with Tyler in the game. And Tyler's an exceptional passer, and he sees things. One, because he knows what to look for, and he's very high IQ. But he talks to our guys constantly, especially probably much more so on the offensive end than maybe on the defensive end. I think it's a comfort for maybe our guys to hear it from him. Maybe and it's the same thing that I talk about. There's times I want Tyler in practice so our other guys can see it, see how the ball doesn't stick, and see how it flows. And in a lot of ways, he's a leader in practice, because of that. So, but when he screws up, I'm still all over his butt.
Well, just from watching him, in practice, I mean, he goes at guys on both ends. Did you pass that down to him, that style?
I was a way better player than him. That's not true. But I mean, I think he's a competitor. Tyler would, he's really a tough kid, even though he's kind of frail looking. But he gets it. He understands it. He's been in the gym since he was 2. He's got he's the best part of Tyler is his mental approach, and he understands what's important about winning, and that's something that I think he's invaluable in the locker room. I think he's been around teams that have an incredible locker room. They have incredible togetherness. I think those are things that I keep trying to relate to our players. And the game of basketball is funny, Scott, and I talk about it all the time. I mean, it's you got to play it the right way. It's a team game. You can't be selfish in basketball. Everybody's got to be playing for each other and being very honest. I mean, I got upset with Kipper on a help side play the other night when Trent got beat off the dribble. And, I look at that as, a man down. A guy got beat. And he didn't go make a play on the ball, and the kid shot an uncontested layup. And those are the little things that good teams and really good teams that care about their teammate, man, they're looking for every reason they can to help their teammate. And those are things that Tyler can relay. Tyler's been a part of, and it doesn't matter, how much talent you have or don't have. If you're not playing the game the right way, the game gets hard to win. And Tyler's able to relay some of those things, I think, both on the court and in the locker room.
Coach, you kind of find yourself in a similar situation that you were in the Big 12 last year, this time of year. What was kind of the key to turning that around, and is that something you can duplicate here, in the Big 10?
I don't know. We're getting ready to find out. They're different scenarios. From this standpoint, different problems in a certain sense in terms of what our problems were at OSU, but we lost a bunch of close games to a lot of top 10 teams or top 15 teams, and that was the offense wasn't a problem there. I mean, I knew we could score with the best of them because we could really shoot it. We had an NBA guard. That wasn't the problem. It was trying to solve some of the other things on the other end of the court. We're not quite that fortunate this year with our offensive side of things. So I think we can solve some things. I don't doubt that for a minute. We've proven we can play with anybody. But I think it's an everyday challenge. We've got to get guys in the locker room playing the right way together. and caring for all that stuff. And we got great kids, and yet it's a culture of we got to establish a culture of winning and togetherness and family, and it's everything that I preach. And the game is it's a finicky game, and just that closeness and helping and caring for each other, that has to be there. And you know, I gave the example yesterday. I mean, we had a young man last year at Oklahoma State, Phil Forte, who shot 600 threes every single day since he was in the 9th grade, and he continued to do that his senior year. And he knew as soon as the season was over, his career was over. He had no desire to go play anymore. I mean, and do that. But he shot 600 threes every day because he had an undying desire to win and compete. And that's playing the game the right way, is to compete to win. And that's what we're striving for every single minute of every day. And can we turn this around? Absolutely. We had that at Oklahoma State, though. We had guys that were all about winning, and we're fighting for that culture right now. Thanks, guys.